Do you have a timing for when inflation will hit its peak and interest rates will begin to drop?
I think generally the sentiment is that inflation has peaked, but it'll take a long time for it to come back down to normal levels throughout 2023 and 2024. As far as interest rates go though, I think the sentiment is that there's one more, maybe two more rate rises to come. Probably not in April due to what's going on in America in the banking system. So they will likely pause on the rate rises for a month. But most people believe there's still one more to go, but obviously we'll need to see what plays out in America before we know much more about that.
With interest rates and living costs still rising, what steps should clients take to shore up their finances now?
I think you can control controllables. So we encourage all our clients to have a review of their mortgages. Obviously with interest rates rising, it's easy to come out of favour and be with a non-competitive lender. Look at what rate they've got, look at their repayment situation. Also your other controllables, your private health insurance, your car insurance. Very easy to do these comparisons online now. There's some great websites out there.
Okay, Rob, there's a lot of talk about taking advantage of higher interest rates by putting money in savings accounts.
When interest rates were 0-1%, it's very hard to justify putting money in a term deposit except for being ultra conservative. Cash always has a role, but nowadays you're getting at least 2%, 3% on a cash account, which is great. The most important thing is what the money is for. So you really need to have a strong sense of what your goals are, when you're going to need to access the money. Working through those things with your advisor, you can make decisions that aren't based on what the market's going to do in the next 1 to 2 weeks. You can decide long term, and then you can strategically line that up with the right investment.
What are the latest updates in the world of superannuation?
Been obviously a popular topic at the moment with all the changes that have been talked through and essentially agreed to recently by the politicians around taxing those higher superannuation balances at an extra 15%. I think we'll learn more in the May budget coming up. We'll hopefully know a bit more about what the government intends and potentially areas that they're looking at, if there is any more. The changes they've proposed, they are not due to come into effect for a couple of years. So we've got a little bit of time to work through that.
Given the current market conditions, what is your advice for people nearing retirement or in retirement now?
Plan it as early as you can. How are you going to live in retirement? What do you want to achieve? And then work backwards from there. No one can sit into retirement without any compromise and without any prioritisation of goals. If you're an existing client, the earlier you can bring up that discussion, if it's sitting in the back of your mind, the better.
Okay, Rob, this is our number one asked question. Is now a good time to invest?
I think it depends on who you are and what you're working towards. How long's your investment time frame is probably the key question there. If you're only investing for 1 or 2 years at the moment, I think generally our advice would be that's too short a period. But if you've got money there and you're not intending to touch it for 3, 4, 5+ years, we'd expect that you'd get a better return than sitting the funds in cash. But again, it comes down to the individual. How well will you be able to cope with short-term fluctuations? If that's not something you're able to live with or lose sleep over, then that's a different scenario again.
So for those who can invest right now, what are the key areas they should be considering?
We generally recommend entering the market in stages. They call it dollar cost averaging. It essentially means dripping money into the market over a period of time. If you've got to say $100,000 and that's your money to invest, if you go and put it into the market tomorrow could be a good day, it could be a bad day. If you put the money into the market in say 4 lots over an extended period of a few months or even over a period of a year, you can average your entry price and therefore reduce that bad or good luck. It does mean some of your money's out of the market for longer than it otherwise would have been, and if the market goes good, then obviously that's a loss. But it does reduce some of that short-term daily or weekly fluctuations from coming to calculations.